Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking what I think is the ultimate shortcut into what is, well, it's arguably the most complex and definitely the most publicly discussed family structure in
The
Hollywood.
blended brood of Nick Cannon.
Exactly. And our sources are just stacked. We have structural data, financial, context, commentary. But the most illuminating insight, really, it comes from someone right in the middle of it.
That's right. Our whole mission here is to move past the headlines and really analyze the sheer scale of this multi-partner structure, but through the eyes of the eldest child, Monroe Cannon.
Yeah, she's 14 years old.
And she recently made this rare public comment that gives us such a sharp, clear definition of her family tree. It's one that everyone, including the media, is now sort of forced to reckon with.
It was a fascinating little source nugget. Monroe, who goes by Ro, she used an Insta story to do some pretty serious public boundary setting. She clarified her sibling status with absolute precision. She wrote, and I'm quoting her directly here, "Clearing something up, guys. I only have one brother who is at Moroccan.canon."
And then she adds this qualifier that's both necessary and honestly kind of stunning.
It really is. She says, "I do have other half-siblings from my dad, but they are all many, many years younger than me."
That phrase, many, many years younger, it's so significant. What she's doing right there is creating two completely distinct zones in her life.
Okay, so zone one is the intimate primary bond with her twin, Moroccan.
Right.
And then you have zone two, this larger, more distant group of 9 half-siblings. That statement isn't just an observation about age. No, it's a hard distinction.
It defines a generational gap, an experiential gap. It's huge.
It really emphasizes that for her, the core relationship is with her fraternal twin, Moroccan. They're dem teens, as they're sometimes called.
Right. They were welcomed during their parents' 6-year marriage, which ended back in 2016. And as the sources show, they live in a world that's just defined by A-list celebrity status.
Absolutely. Just look at their recent activities. It tells you a lot about the co-parenting logistics, despite all the complexity.
Like what?
Well, the twins just went on this lavish, high-profile Halloween trip to Japan with their mom, Mariah Carey.
Okay, wow.
But then the sources also show Monroe maintaining a strong relationship with her dad. She had a separate spooky evening with him on October 19th at Knott's Scary Farm.
So she's balancing both worlds.
She really is, and that balance is remarkable, especially when you think about the weight of her role as the eldest. Nick Cannon himself highlighted this back in 2021.
What do you say?
He called Monroe his best therapist. He said she's so in tune and in line and wise beyond her years.
The description, wise beyond her years.
Yeah.
It carries so much weight when you consider the scrutiny his unconventional family model is always under.
Yeah, he sees her as an emotional anchor, a grounding force.
And he also pointed out that crucial twin dynamic. He said, even though they're twins, she came out first and she lets everybody know it. That firstborn status, even if it's just by a few minutes, it really solidifies her authority and her self-perception as this mature voice defining her own story.
And we should remember, they've been performing since they were little kids. They made their acting debut voicing characters in that 2017 animated holiday special, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh yeah, on Netflix.
So they are celebrity kids through and through, which it amps up the pressure for Monroe to manage her public image in these definitions.
Which brings us right back to the 9 younger half-siblings she mentioned. To really get the monumental logistical challenge here, we have to map out the sheer number of households and co-parents involved.
Okay, but before we even try to list them all, we have to talk about the money.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you're managing this level of complexity, the cost is it's staggering. The sources say he reportedly spends well over $3 million a year on child support. Alone.
$3 million a year. And that's just the baseline cash transfer.
Right. Not housing, not security, travel, education.
And that number, it doesn't just speak to wealth. It speaks to the immense coordination, the professional infrastructure you need to have in place. What people miss is the shadow cost,
What do you mean by that?
The legal fees, the scheduling coordinators, the staff you need just to maintain a high-functioning environment across, 5, soon to be 6 different mothers, multiple homes. It's a corporation.
It really is. When you hear that number, you realize this isn't just about love. It's a massive organizational effort. And that organization is exactly what Monroe is trying to, visualize for her followers.
Yeah, with that comment about her 9 younger half-siblings.
So let's break it down. Let's try to visualize that generational gap she's describing. Keep in mind, the vast majority of these kids are 3 or 4 years old.
We're looking at 9 living younger half-siblings spread across 5 different partners, not including Mariah Carey. This list is, well, it's necessary to understand the world Monroe is navigating.
Okay, so where do we start? Let's begin with Brittany Bell, former Miss Guam 2014. She's the mother of 3 of the children.
That's right. With Brittany, Cannon has their oldest son in this younger group, Golden, who's 8.
8 years old.
Then daughter, Powerful Queen, she's 4, and their son, Rise Messiah, is 3. So you already have a blended age range in just one household.
Okay, next up is DJ Abby De La Rosa, also a mother of 3.
Right. Abby De La Rosa is the mother to twins, Zion and Zillion, who are both 4 years old.
4, okay.
And their daughter, Beautiful Zeppelin, who is 3. So now we're at 6 younger children, with 3 mothers involved total, and you can already see that age clustering.
Totally. Monroe is looking at kids who were born, 8 to 11 years after her?
It's a huge gap. Then we have the dynamic with model Alyssa Scott, which this includes a really tragic element that the sources remind us of.
Yeah, this is the hardest part of the story.
Alyssa Scott is the mother of their daughter Halo, who's approaching her 3rd birthday on December 14th. But their relationship is also marked by the devastating loss of their son, Zen.
He passed away at just 5 months old in 2021 from brain cancer.
It's such a tragedy. So that's one living child mentioned with Alyssa Scott in the context of this ongoing structure.
And the 4th partner in this primary group is the model and photographer Lanisha Cole.
Lanisha Cole is the mother of their daughter Onyx Ice Cole Cannon, who is 3. So if you stop and count right there.
We have 4 partners.
Totaling 8 living children, all of them under the age of 9.
So wait, if Monroe is counting 9 younger half-siblings, there must be one more partner involved in the bigger picture she's talking about.
Exactly. And the sources confirm this. They note a very recent public appearance.
Right. I saw this. Cannon was just pictured at the Zootopia 2 premiere with...
It's selling Sunset star Brianna Bracey Moran and their 3-year-old son, Legendary Love.
Legendary Love. So that public appearance, it confirms the 5th partner, and it accounts for the 9th living younger half-sibling Monroe would be counting.
And that complexity is entirely public-facing. It's all out there.
It sounds less like a family structure and more like an incredibly complex, constantly updating org chart. I mean, the logistics are just mind-boggling, which really raises the question of how the primary partners navigate this.
Especially the one who was in the highest profile marriage with him.
Mariah Carey.
And we have a very clear answer from her on this. It speaks volumes about the boundaries she has set to protect her peace and the twins' environment.
Her response was definitely characterized as icy by the press.
I'd say so.
When she was asked about co-parenting on CBS Mornings back in September, she was so deliberate with her words. She said it was best if I don't talk about him because he can just be in his own world, no offense to him.
That language, in his own world, that's not just cold, it's a definitive strategy.
It's compartmentalization.
Exactly. She's focusing exclusively on the twins' needs, and she refuses to engage in the broader context of his very prolific personal life. She's drawing a clear professional line in the sand.
To make sure the chaos, or at least the perceived chaos, doesn't enter her orbit.
Or the twins' lives.
Yeah. And it's such a sharp contrast to Cannon's own expansive, open philosophy toward family. What's fascinating is that the source material suggests this philosophy, this flamboyant fertility, as one source called it.
Flamboyant fertility.
It may have really deep personal roots in his own family history.
This is where you connect the dots, right, between the celebrity narrative and his core values. The sources specifically say his approach to having children goes back to his own childhood.
Right. His mother, Beth, she chose not to abort him when she and his father, James Cannon, were teenagers.
And he didn't hide that. He depicted that exact, profoundly personal origin story in his 2005 music video for Can I Live?
Which means this conversation around life choices, around circumstance, it's been central to his identity for almost 2 decades now.
It frames his current family building not as just, a celebrity choice, but as this deep-seated personal commitment. It seems rooted in valuing life no matter the circumstance or the structure. His life is the embodiment of that.
He's choosing non-traditional formats because his own existence is a testament to that choice.
Absolutely.
That certainly provides important context. And speaking of dedication, his professional life hasn't slowed down one bit. Just as a footnote, he's the executive producer and host for the 14th season of The Masked Singer.
Still going strong.
Premiering in January, plus his continuous role as the producer-host of Nick Cannon at Night. The sheer schedule needed to manage his career and 5 co-parenting relationships is exhausting just to think about.
It's relentless.
Yeah.
So when we synthesize all of this, the $3 million price tag, the 5 partners, 9 younger kids, the very different co-parenting styles, we have to come back to Monroe's statement.
Her insistence on defining her family structure publicly, only one brother. The rest are distant, younger half-siblings. It really highlights this crucial modern dilemma.
Yeah, what is that?
The sheer scale and visibility of these celebrity-blended families, it's forcing a public discussion around how we even define sibling and where the boundaries are between public life and a private family structure.
And for a 14-year-old.
For a 14-year-old, it is a declaration of self-preservation. It's her finding clarity in the face of just immense public confusion.
Exactly. You have a teenager who has to draw her own map because the entire world is trying to draw it for her. And her own father, as the sources remind us, describes her as the one who maintains a strong, pure, and honest viewpoint.
Right.
So given all the complexity we've just detailed, I want to challenge you to think about the immense pressure that puts on her. How hard is it for the eldest child to maintain that clarity, that honesty, that purity of vision when she has to navigate such a vastly complex, publicly documented family tree? And what does knowing the world is watching and counting every single half-sibling? What does that mean for the long-term identity of all the children involved as they grow up? That, to me, is the lasting question this whole dynamic leaves us with.